Hey guys, what's going on? Jaimi Alexander here for Kings Speak. This is an interview series designed to assist men and share with men in discovering the highest and truest vision for their life and for their purpose. So, this king is actually a personal friend of mine. He's an original real life influencer, okay? Founder of Mastermind Connect, which is a men's collective that helps men connect with their passions, their higher self, and their community. So I want you guys to give a warm welcome to our guest today, Mike the Blueprint McConnell.
I always say this. I had my come to Jesus moment or come to God moment or whatever deity moment, and I was just like, damn, man, I still feel empty. I still feel broken. So I started the journey of really piecing myself back together and had the concept of Mastermind Connect looming in the background all this time. I saw all the women doing sister circles and yoga and meditation, and all I saw from the brothers was we was going to the club and partying, or going, or going to some sort of you know, sports event. So I took that, I allowed myself to be vulnerable, and I found a few other brothers who were down to help me build this thing, and that was in 2017, I want to say.
Mhm.
And we've grown from there. We have over 100 members, and Mastermind Connect basically is a men's group. We help men grow personally, professionally. We help them connect to their higher passions in life, and we create this friendship and this brotherhood. And we've created this friendship, this brotherhood, and then we created friendship through that. So we have, courses, we have events. Well, when we could, outside was open, we had events.
Yeah.
So we just do it all, man. It's really like a full service men's group, that anything that you're going through, mental, business, family, fatherhood, intimacy, all that, we cover all of those topics and provide a space for men to grow and build.
I mean, I just love that so much because just like you said, I was seeing the same thing. That was, even why I started King's Speak. It originally was an event, obviously,
Yeah. Right.
just for men to come out, have whiskey, have great dinner, great
Yeah.
conversation. I've had great venues. And, of course, I'm a woman, but like you said, we have all of these sister circles, group therapy. I mean, women, we go in when it comes to spiritual evolution. And this was also prompted to me because like the men I date, sometimes I'm like, man, I just, sometimes they're into certain things, sometimes they're not, but I'm like, I wish they had somewhere to
Yeah.
go, or I wish they had someone
Right.
to connect to, because my language isn't always going to help them evolve their spirit. So
Yeah.
with that being said, like, when does a man come to the end of their rope? Because you talked about feeling empty and brokenness. Do you think a
Yeah.
lot of men, feel that feeling and try to do something about it, or do you think men suppress it and just kind of function from the brokenness? How does that really work?
Well, I think that you know, I was just talking to my son about this. The end of your rope, right? Men are very goal orientated, even when they don't think they are. You are goal orientated. You want the pretty girl, or, husband, whatever, you float your boat.
Yeah.
Um, you want the nice house. You want success and money. You want status. You want title. Um, you want to be happy, peaceful, all this stuff. And then you look at what is basically set up for men in this world, and it's all um, designed for you to fail, straight up. Like, it's designed for you to fail. It really is. Like, not like from the moment we're born, we're marketed to that we have to be this like knight in shining armor, and we have to be successful and tall and handsome and strong and have the six pack and blah blah blah, know how to fix everything. We have to know how to do everything. And it's sort of like we need to be like prepackaged and made already and ready to roll out the door. And it's like, when do we have time to actually get to know ourselves? Is it between after we graduate college, and then, from the time you're 27, you got to figure out within those few years? So I think a lot of us lie to ourselves, and we do the best. Yes, social pressure. We do the best act uh, of a man that we think is needed to be accepted in society. So, you know, there's like really no, cause I was like, when the hell did I have any of the time to really figure out how to become emotionally intelligent? And a lot of us are learning through trial and error. And that's not a really good way to grow healthy men. It starts when you're younger. It starts with how we communicate with our nephews and our sons, and even, you know, just being a mentor to these young men out here. So I think that, you know, the end of your rope comes when you figure out that you ain't got it all figured out, and then you may never figure it all out, and you hit rock bottom, or you hit a bottom, and you say, shit, I need to go in a new direction. I need to learn. I need to grow. And they're going to have that moment. And I laugh at these young guys who are always telling me they're very arrogant. You know, it just happened. I had like a moment with this young guy who's like, oh, that's not going to happen to me. And certain things are happening to him now. And I'm getting DMs from him like, hey, so, you know, it's just really about recognizing when you need to grow. I wouldn't say change, when you need to grow as a man, and stop letting circumstances dictate that. Catching
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. No, it makes perfect sense. And it's like a similar journey, but I definitely sympathize and feel for you guys because women, you know, we're taught the same thing, but it's different, you know, to be beautiful and get a husband and
Yes.
look for this and that in a man. And, you know, to be honest, I've met amazing men and they didn't have it all together. And it
Yeah.
was, you know, the challenge between a woman's mindset of like, well, he's supposed to have this and do this, but I'm not getting that. And, you know, and that's where the friction starts. So tell me, what do you think about some of the distractions that kind of keep men from going in the direction of their purpose?
You know, I'm glad you're talking about this right now, because boy, oh boy, there are so many distractions, man. I mean, like I said, I was having a really deep talk with my son um, about that, about discipline.
Oh,
And, you know, the thing is, it's really easy to sell to men, especially when there's some sort of sexual connotation, or, you know, something that is like, you know, maybe a violent movie. It's just so easy to sell to men. And, you know, I think that everything comes down to discipline.
I agree.
Uh, I hope I'm answering your question, but
Yeah,
I think that self discipline is a journey. I think just because you can take something or do it, that you should make sure that whatever you are doing in your life is adding value to you as a person. 2016 is when I truly started to sacrifice, and I said, I don't care how long it takes me. I am going to build something that is uniquely my own. Because the thing with consulting, which I was doing, was consulting is just like a series of one night stands. It really is. You know, unless you have equity in these companies, unless you have financial interests that is going to keep you vested in the country, you're just going to keep moving on to the next client and moving on to the next client.
yeah,
So what with Mastermind Connect, I said, this is going to be my foundation. Right. I build a foundation with the lower vibrations.
yeah. I
What's up,
agree with
Buddha?
that.
And, you know, like even this right here, this King Speak platform, it's very new. But if you are consistent with this platform, even the days you don't feel like doing it, you will be successful with this platform. You're already successful with other things, you know, in one of the hardest places to make it in the world, you're doing it.
Thank you.
But, you know, my last thing that I was going to say is success to me is definitely sacrificing. But a lot of the sacrifice is going to be the shit that you don't want to do.
That's true. And then, you know, I was likening sacrifice to the pruning of a tree. Like, we don't want to cut anything off. We don't want to lose anything. But when
Right.
you are pruning a tree, you're getting rid of those dead leaves so that more can grow. So
Right.
sometimes I feel like we get in our own way and our own way of abundance and our path just because we're afraid to let go of things. So, I mean, obviously at some point in life, it sounds like the dream life to be the it man at the club, all of these
Yeah.
brands seeking you,
Oh,
you
man.
know, liquor, girls. Like when we were young, I was in that life too. I was, you
Yeah.
know, at all the tables, I was doing it all. So,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
you know, I definitely get it. But where do you think because I know when you started Mastermind Connect, it came from a space of brokenness and you wanting to create something that you basically needed.
Yeah.
How do men come to purpose in their life? Like, is this your purpose? Do you feel like this is your life's purpose? Is it just part of it? Have you always known this about yourself? How do you talk to yourself and uncover things when it comes to your purpose on this planet at this time right now?
You know, purpose is a funny thing because we look at it from like this singular view, right? You know, people get involved with something and they say, "This is my purpose." I would say this is one of my purposes.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of my purposes. I think my purpose, and this is why I think a lot of people they act weird with me, right? You know, I think one, you know, they see this like arrogant guy who's just got a big mouth. Um, I get it, and I get it.
You're
I
so
love it.
funny.
You know, but see, my thing is like, and I'll get back to your point is, I don't give a fuck about looking cool, and I curse. Yes, I'm sorry, I'm cursing on this platform.
You know
I
what
don't.
the funny thing is when you
Yeah.
were like, oh, people see me as this loud guy that I was like, but you look so cool. You're just so
And
cool.
it never. Here's the thing. You're gonna see a lot of people suffering soon because they were too cool. They're too cool, and this is my thing. Is like, stop trying to be too cool. And the thing that has kept me relevant, has kept money in my pocket, and kept me, through this is the streets taught me to hustle. The streets taught me humbleness. The entertainment industry taught me how to be creative and flow. So when you combine those two, like you got a pretty decent, creative entrepreneur. And what I'm seeing right now, especially on Instagram, I'm seeing a lot of these people that, folks spend chasing all day. They're desperate right now because they didn't have that balance. And what I will say is, men have to really understand that all of this stuff is you have to create the balance. You're not going to find the balance. So if you are trying to set a path of purpose, you need time to figure out what that purpose is, or at least one of your purposes. So you have to create that balance in your life. And I
Mm.
said, after 4 o'clock today, I'm not doing nothing, and I'm going to focus on my hobbies that eventually may become my new passions. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I love motorcycles. It took me years to get super comfortable and thousands and thousands and thousands of miles under my belt for me to roll with the big dogs and ride with the big. I can ride with anybody and feel comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
but that takes time and effort. So you need to create the balance in your life so you things necessary. Um,
That is
and
powerful.
it's just for a lot of people. For a lot of people, they think that purpose is just going to land in their lap. It may, but I wouldn't bet on it. What I would do is just keep trying different things. But if you're constantly chasing this, chasing that, wanting to be this person, wanting to be that person, and not be yourself, then you're never going to find your purpose. You have to create balance within your life to give yourself enough time to figure out what it is you like and you don't like. You understand what I'm saying? Because with Mastermind Connect, we
Yeah.
created a new industry. Like I'm not in. People. Oh yeah. I'm this. I'm that. I'm that. A word. Okay. When people ask me what I do, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what I do. I'm just me for a living. And
Correct.
that's the thing is like when you find out who you are, there's nothing more fucking powerful than finding out who you are. And nobody can tell me nothing about myself. But that's only because I've allowed myself. I gave myself the grace to find balance, and then I'm willing to be vulnerable.
Whew.
The number one issue with a lot of men is vulnerability.
Yeah.
And we do things out of when we're in relationships, especially with women, we're in relationships, we don't because if you don't have vulnerability, then you can't have intimacy.
Correct.
And if you don't have intimacy, then you're in a relationship where you're just accommodating a person.
That is so like
Right?
the
And that
truth of that is wild right now. That's
right.
it.
So like you can't really see women are more likely to be tapped in on the vulnerability level so they can create intimacy within their lives, because intimacy is a two-way thing. It's not just sex. Yeah, people, when you say the word intimacy to men, they be like, "Oh, no, I'm intimate. What are you talking about? You know, let me give you a hug." No, intimacy is really fostering a bond that is spoken through the heart and soul. So a man could have intimacy with another man. A woman could have. The vulnerability allows you to have intimacy so you can create real relationships with people. You know, somebody said something to me that insulted me and I needed
it. What'd they say?
They said, "Mike, you're not too polished." And I said, you're goddamn right, and I don't want to be. I just want to be me. So if you want to start getting to know yourself on a deeper level, create the balance, don't look for it. Start focusing on becoming more vulnerable, and you can do that by starting to have honest and real conversations about the way that you feel.
I love that. What is the block what is the block in having real conversations about how you feel? What is the roadblock to that? Is it ego or?
Oh, well, here's the thing. I don't want to bash the ego. Everybody's like, "Oh man, you got an ego." Ego, as my boy Javon Sharp says, ego is the reason that you wake up and take a shower in the morning.
Yeah, I get it.
Mm-hmm. Ego is useful. Ego is useful. It's like fire. It's useful.
Yep.
Right? But when it's used incorrectly, that's when you can become your own worst enemy.
Right.
And what I would say, especially for brothers, the reason why it's so hard for them to share their feelings is because we are always on the defense. We're worried about the cops. We're worried about other brothers trying to, harm us, whether it be, in the hood or whatever, or just, being tough, the tough guy image. Also, when we are, when we're on our road to success, we purely become about the bag, about money. I know a gentleman right now who, like, literally, I can say this man sold his soul. I literally, me and my boys watched him sell his soul. And what people don't realize is that, like, when you sell your soul, it's hard to get back. You may never get it back. So this is where vulnerability comes in, and it allows you to be honest with yourself first, honest with those around you, and then you just don't become attached to just material things as your identity. Because if you're a man who relies on material things or outside things to identify you, you fucked up in the game. You don't know who you are. And guess what? As a man like me comes along, I got more control over your life than you because I know what moves you.
Damn.
So, you want, and I'm not trying to be nobody's master. I got enough kids. I'm not trying to rule over nobody's life. I'm trying to work with people. If I wanted to, I could run one of the largest fucking gangs in North America if I wanted to. I use my powers for good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I use my power for good. And men have to start thinking in that mindset. Use your power for good. Use your power for good, because guess what? Your unborn kids are watching you. So when you dogging out that female, when you being shitty to your friends and family, it's gonna come back. It may not come back like this, but it'll come back. Karma is very real, and it works both ways.
Right.
Well, what I'll say is men have to start.
What does it say?
She says I look like an under 45 Donnie Hathaway if he wasn't saying. Yeah, I know, Mary.
This is the remix.
Baby, I'm just trying to preserve this. Me and Mary, I love Mary. Me and Mary, we're aging well. Let's just say that. We're aging well.
Yes.
And that's the thing that I'm saying is, like, you don't always have to be hardcore, man. I did the tough guy shit for a long time.
Yeah.
You don't have to always, it's not a competition to see how many girls you can get. You could actually build an empire with one woman.
Right.
Versus you running around here messing with women that you don't even. I remember back in days I was messing with women I didn't even like. I was like, I don't even like you, but I feel a duty to do this. So we got to get our focus back on what's important. What's important to you as a man, and whatever is important to you as a man is where your attention is going to go.
Yes.
And when I start talking about the spirituality stuff, I had a lot of my boys like, "Oh, what's this stuff, man? You meditate." And that was a few years ago. And now guess what? They're meditating now. They're seeing the importance of it. But you can't do that successfully unless you have vulnerability. So I
True.
don't mind telling people that, yo, I used to suffer from depression.
Yeah.
I used to go through it. Guess what? If I don't talk about it, maybe my son won't feel comfortable to tell me that he's going through depression.
That part.
You got to decide what you want to be now, because ain't nobody, this is about to be a very cold place in a little while. This whole COVID thing just started. So that's why we started the Be Well, Stay Well program for men.
Yes, I definitely want to talk about that. So before we jump into the Be Well, Stay Well program, I wanted to ask a question about brotherhood. I mean, I really love Mastermind Connect so much. I follow the page. I watch what you guys do. It is absolutely, it's perfect, Mike. It's amazing.
It's not just
so
me.
valuable.
It's my partners, man.
Oh,
My
it is
partners.
so valuable. Y'all be camping, meditating, yoga, learning, food, health, wellness, like all of the things that are considered to be not really taboo, but like, oh yeah, you meditate, like what? And to open yourself up to bring people this space, I mean, it is beyond powerful. I'm obsessed with it. So how do you think brotherhood plays a part in how a man grows up, how he makes these decisions, how he finds his purpose, how he relates and deals with women, who you keep around? How does that play a part?
You know, I didn't really have healthy relationships with men when I was younger. You know, I had it was either, you know, we were bonded through struggle, or you know, it was me having to do the tough guy thing in the streets, right?
Right.
Growing up in the 90s in New York City, you didn't really have many options, because if you were soft, which you know, call me so I'm soft. I don't care. Y'all call me. I cry probably every 3 weeks. But
Right.
like, you know, you couldn't be seen as weak, whatever that meant. And you know, it was this whole ridiculous machismo thing that a lot of us adhered to, because we were scared, to be honest with you. We were just trying to survive. And I didn't really have great relationship. But now, you know, in my early 40s, I'm 41 years old. I have the best relationships that I've ever had, because we started this Mastermind Connect thing in my late 30s. Is I have great relationships, and I'm even learning. I got like little brothers, right? They get on my goddamn nerves sometimes, and they'll say crazy things to me, and I say, well, he don't know any better, you know. So it's up to me as a OG. It's up to me to teach the younger guys, you know, how to flow, because I've been through a lot of this stuff already. I've had the, like, you know, how am I going to feed my kid? And you know, I've had, you know, leaving a dead end job and having to start a business. I've had the family members tell me, I've been through all that. I'm tired of bonding with people through struggle.
Correct.
Now we're bonding in a healthy way. So I think that, you know, men need to reevaluate the relationships that they have with other men, and try not to bring that into the new situations. So this is why we vet everybody in Mastermind Connect. We vet everybody, because we want to make sure that we have like-minded individuals. I don't want to add homophobic people. I don't want to add bigots. I don't want to add people that come in with their little preconceived notions about culture and life and everything, because I'm trying to learn from you.
Right.
So, you know, the whole thing is just having patience and respect for the next man. And I take brotherhood extremely serious.
Yes.
Even though I take it very serious, you know. So, you know, I always say this, like, you know, this is the squad, man. Like, we got great men involved all over the country now, all over the world.
Yeah, I love that. And it's a very sacred space. So I love, you should be mindful, just like we're mindful about who we let in our homes, who we let in our life. You should be mindful about who you let in your friend circle.
Yep.
It's not just, you know, the person that's cool, or the person who's this, or the person you think can protect you or connect you with this, whatever. It's a very sacred space. So I love that you put it that way, because it provides action steps, you know, for that responsibility in the area of brotherhood, which is very important. It makes your life, it's, you know, these are people that are accompanying you on your journey. Like you said, you don't want them to be seasoning your flavor with something that don't taste good. Let's just say
that. Yeah, absolutely, man. You know, I used to hang around dudes, man. There's a lot of dudes that used to hang around me because I had the access.
Correct.
And then I look, I was like, man, and then somebody was like, hey man, that guy's talking about you. And I'm like, what? Why are you doing that for?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
thought
have
we
I
were
don't
cool.
I don't have that in my life anymore. I
Right.
have people that keep it real with me, and I gotta be called out on my shit sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, I have my brother, you know, man, I'm gonna check you. You were wrong.
Yeah.
You know what? You're right. I was wrong. But I'm man enough to admit when I'm wrong. A part
Yeah.
of growth. A part of growth. You think Gandhi was right all the time? You think Martin Luther King was right all the time? You didn't think he had to be checked?
Right.
Everybody has to be checked every now and then.
Right. I agree. That's so powerful. So I
Yeah.
definitely love this. You know, right when I saw your post, I jumped right in because you posted something that Forbes posted about, you know, during quarantine right now, you know, people are um excessively engaged in, oh, did I lose you completely or can you still hear me? Let's see. I think I might have lost him. Oh, there we go. Um,
Sorry.
no,
No,
it's
I'm
okay.
sorry. Sorry.
It's
Yeah.
okay. I saw your post and Forbes magazine
Yeah.
posted that, you know, people are excessively into like porn and all these addictive, wild things right now. And you started a
Right.
free online program, a men's accountability program that men can join online. And, you know, it is important to ask, like, who do you want to be, sir, after quarantine? And what are you putting into? So tell me about the Be Well, Stay Well project and, you know, what people can expect from that.
Oh man, the Be Well Stay Well program is a accountability and revitalization program. Um, when the whole quarantine thing hit, we were just about to announce the launch of Alchemy by Mastermind Connect. Alchemy by Mastermind Connect is our community where we meet every day. We have our own app, our own platform on the computer, on a that you can access via the browser on a laptop computer or a stationary computer. And then the COVID thing happened. We were like, whoa, let's pump the brakes, and then we had to switch over. So I went live one day with a lot of the members. It was a well attended live, and I was like very passionate, like, yo, we got to look out for each other right now.
Correct.
So I had this idea of starting this 3-month program that would tap into things that to help you understand business a little bit more. So we have the Zen Art of Business that's taught by Arvell Anthony. We have a wellness program that is about physical health by one of our guys named Rafael Velasquez. We have a self mastery program. We have a yoga program that you could do yoga with one of our members who's a master yoga teacher. We have a goal setting and intention setting program. And these are the things that we feel, the tools that you're going to need to focus on to come out of this quarantine thing better than you were. And I wanted to start it when things started to die down, which they did, because the first 2 weeks people were tagging me in push-up challenges. It was all this stuff, and I was
It
like,
was like TikTok galore,
oh
like,
my god! I was like, yo, these challenges, y'all gonna get burnt out. So we
yeah,
launched it this week.
correct.
I tell you, they're master classes for 12 weeks. And I said to myself, I do not want to be the docile man who's looking to another man to give me money or an opportunity. I want to be stronger because we are building the leaders for the new world. So
Yeah.
if your monkey ass is spending, and guys, you know me, I keep it real. I'm not trying to impress anybody. I know all the corporate guys. I'm keeping it real. If you are sitting at home watching Netflix, eating cookie dough, thumbing through thirst traps, watching copious amounts of porn, not working out, having no movement, you are setting yourself up for depression. You're
Period.
setting, period. You are not taking care of your mind, body, and soul. And that's what this program is about. So when you sign up to be a member, you get the program for free. We are playing with the idea of opening up the space for about 7 days so men can come and see. Because men are very skeptical about everything that
Yeah.
has anything to do with self-improvement.
Wow.
If I'm telling you, men will spend $5,000 on bottle service,
Yes, they will.
but won't spend $50
It's like,
On
I believe it. I know it. I'm telling you, because I really created this because I watch the men I date and I'm like, dude,
yeah,
you know, like I said, some men are amazing, they're really great, but it's just like the mentality, I'm how are you going to lead me, our household, our children? I think like that.
yeah,
What tools do you have? What can I learn from you? What do you have fertile ground for me to offer? You
right.
know, my flowering to you so even more can grow. So it's just it's so important, and I'm just so proud of you, you know, to hear an influencer, you know, Brooklyn motorcycle riding, like, oh yeah, you know,
Yeah,
yeah, brother. It's just, it's so powerful because we need women. We need that. We need Mastermind Connect because we
yeah,
need you, and we
yeah,
need you to be at your optimal space so we can give you what we have to offer and make this thing work.
yeah. You know, men just they the old paradigms are changing, and that's what we have to recognize. Where it's like, you know, go to college, graduate, get the $100,000 a year job, meet the girl of your dreams, have the 2.5 kids, get the house. It may not be going like that because of the economy and these old principles and everything
Yeah,
like that. But it's still a beautiful thing, like you said, to have fertile soil, to know how to build things, to know how to maneuver, to know how to, I'm building a garden in the back to teach myself how to garden. You
love
know,
it.
and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm gonna be building a bar by myself. Going to the lumber yard and teaching myself different things that my father and my grandfather taught me. But I was such a stubborn kid; I didn't want to pay attention fully. So, we got to learn how to build things. We got to learn how to nurture things. And I think before you even think about getting in a relationship, focus on that for yourself. And that's what the Be Well, Stay Well program is teaching you, how to be an intentional man. Because the sexiest shit, because all these dudes is out here there too. Y'all be doing these thirst traps too. So it ain't just these women. Y'all be out here selling yourselves and how you're so brilliant. And you travel all the time and you got this and you got that. Then when you get in the situation, you don't know what to do. And I've been there. I was, like I said, I was doing my best act as a man, what I knew and I thought was a man. I
Right.
wasn't nurturing. I wasn't building on fertile soil. And so me entering into a relationship with a powerful woman that I can put my flame next to and build a bigger flame, I wasn't ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
I was either intimidated by that or, my mommy issues started coming out because we ain't just got daddy issues. We got mommy issues too.
I know.
A lot of men got mommy issues.
Yeah.
I still have some. I'm
Right.
talking to my son right now, trying to help him out because he's going through some things with his mother. But I'm
Right.
telling him, like, look, once you understand your emotions as a man, you realize that when you're talking to somebody emotional, you're understanding why they're in the state of emotion that they're in. So as a
Mm-hmm.
man, you can overstand the situation, fall
Right.
back, and respond intelligently instead of
Correct.
emotionally. And there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with being emotional. There's nothing wrong with that. But understanding why, like, you don't want to trade places with a woman. No, you do not. You don't want to trade places with a woman. Biologically, the things that a woman has to deal with, you ready to carry a kid for 9 months?
Oh
You
my
ready to worry?
God.
You ready to worry about your safety in the streets? These are the things I think. So when you're entering into a union with a woman, you gotta you gotta just put her fears to rest as much as possible. But that comes through your confidence. She's gonna feel safe. She wants to feel safe and secure. But if you don't have that within yourself, you shouldn't be entering in any relationship with anybody. Establish these things for yourself. You do have the time,
You
and
have the
then
time.
enter a union. Don't enter in a relationship looking for somebody to repair your ass. I did it numerous times, and all you
Yeah.
do is destroy good women. And the same for women. I can say vice versa.
Yes.
Women do it too.
Yes.
But we're talking about the kings today.
We talking about
So,
the kings today.
so the Be Well, Stay Well program, we cover all of that, man. We get down to the nitty gritty of who you are. And it's about empowering yourself, powering up yourself. and it's 3 months, and you know, get it while the getting's good, because we got new members coming in every day now. You know, one was just on, my man Buddha was just on. New,
Hmm.
you know, new members, somebody I'm looking forward to getting to know. We had Wadey on, but you know, that's it, man. It's just, you know, be honest with yourself.
Yeah. I love it. You shared so much wisdom, actionable steps. I learned and grew. I love your perspective. I think it's brilliant, you know, honestly. And I'm so glad that you're here and doing what you're doing and
Yeah,
speaking. So thank you so much for sharing all that with us. And, you know, one thing I was thinking about how, when you were talking is, you know, everything that you're doing is also preparing men for the right woman. It's yes, women and relationships and all that, but I think when a man can really see himself and he's really healed and focused on the right things and disciplined and, you
yeah,
know, has his eye on where he wants to go, he
right,
also chooses his woman differently. And I
yeah,
think that there's so much value and power for, you know, chapter 2 when that comes
yeah,
and, you know, you make that union and move forward in life's purpose and raise your kids and all of those great things and legacy. You know, this is
yeah.
all about legacy at the end of
You
the day.
can't force you can't force anyone to grow. You know, this is why I'm getting into gardening, because I'm trying to be
So
patient.
good.
You cannot. So if you meet somebody, you're like, you want them to be this thing. I want you to be like, you know, a strong man, right? It's like,
Yeah.
well, he has to go through his seasons. He may
Yes.
have to go through his dark night of the soul, you know, which I talk to people about the dark night of the soul. That was one thing I wanted to add on, like knowing when you're going to that breaking point.
Yeah.
You know, I have friends going through it right now financially. I went through my dark night of the soul. I hit the
Yeah.
bottom, and I stood up for myself. So you need to stand up for yourself. Not saying that something is wrong with every man. That's not the truth. There are really great men out here that are super balanced and killing it.
Absolutely.
So, you know, this is not a thing of like, oh, all you men need to do this or do that. You know, and I'm not
Yeah.
preaching like I'm this perfect guy. Every day I struggle with things. Sometimes I drink too much. Sometimes, sometimes I don't work out. Sometimes I'm an asshole. Sometimes I'm too nice and a pushover.
Right.
But that's me self-correcting and EQing. You
Yeah.
you get to EQ yourself and
Yeah.
choose your level, or what level that you want to be on. You know, that like my boy Javon Sharp said, the caviar is gone. You know, so all these people that were acting too sexy for their shirt, perpetuating an image that they can no longer maintain. You know, what men have to realize is like, this is a great time, man. This is a great time. It's a sad time, but it's a great
Yes.
time to reinvent yourself if you need to,
Yeah.
and be the man that you always wanted to be.
Yes. So men, you know, and women can, of course, we can ask ourselves the same question, but it is, who do you want to be coming out of this quarantine? How are you going to take advantage of the opportunities? Here, you guys learned about a program, Be Well, Stay Well, that Mastermind Connect is doing that gives you the perfect opportunity, no excuses to grow,
Yeah,
learn, you know, because when we learn new things from a neuroscience standpoint, we're
yeah,
literally changing ourselves. If our personality is based off of what we think, how we feel, and you know what we do, then we have an opportunity to change our lives by changing our personality. And I believe we can do that by tapping in and learning, you know, some of the things that you're talking about to just activate different parts of the brain. I love that you're gardening. We would never look at a flower and be like, could you hurry up and grow? Why aren't you
right,
out the
right.
ground
Grow,
yet?
right.
It don't work that way.
You can't command growth. You have to nurture it.
Yes.
Do the right things, give it sun, water, seeds, fertilize, all that stuff. And that's the phase I'm in right now, because I'm going to another level of leadership in my life, and I welcome it. So I thank you for creating a platform like this,
Yeah.
because nobody, I always say, nobody cares what men have to say.
I
And,
love it.
and this is why they don't care what men have to say, because the bad men are the ones that get all of the TV time. All we
And
see
that's
is
what I
bad
refuse
men.
to buy into. I refuse
Yeah.
to buy into
There's
that.
a lot of good men out here, man. I mean, women always say, "Oh, there ain't no men." I'm like, actually, it's a lot. You know, you may not be 6'6", and be a millionaire and whatever, or this idea of this fantasy that you have in your head. He may be the extreme opposite of what you like, but he's still out there.
Yeah, and I also have this platform too because I know women tune in. We actually love hearing what men think, but it's an opportunity for us to get better because, I'm having conversations about how to get rid of that box that I put men in and what my expectations are and how women, how we can serve you by being more understanding of, okay, wait a minute, this really isn't a knight in shining armor, this perfect man coming with all this stuff to blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. This
Right.
is really connecting with a person.
Yeah.
And growing. So we all have the self-work that we need to do to get there. So thank you so
Absolutely.
much
Yeah, man.
for your
Anytime.
time. And we'll have to
Anytime.
do this again. And I'm going to be
Absolutely.
looking out for the posts for Be Well, Stay Well, and just seeing everything that, how the men are moved and getting updated with
Yeah.
that. And I'm going to share it on this platform too.
Yeah, I'm gonna rip a clip from last night's goal and intention setting masterclass and share it just so men could get a glimpse. But I appreciate
Yeah.
you and everything that you're doing.
All right. Thank you so
All
much. And
right.
thank you guys for tuning in. And we'll talk soon.
All right. Peace.
Peace.